It's the Bro Plata, everybody. And today we have a very special guest, a man who doesn't need an introduction. If you've seen The Ultimate Fighter, you have seen this man be none other than himself. And probably one of the most interesting dudes I've ever heard of in mixed martial arts, to be honest with you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have John Gunther, everybody. Yay! John Gunther's on the show. Thank you for being on, brother. We appreciate you, man. You're one of the more interesting guys that I've read about and seen in the UFC. Your backstory is quite fun and interesting, and I can't wait to get in with you. And I want to thank Tim Danko for getting you on, because this is a cool thing, man.
Thank John, man. Do you take that as a compliment, man? Like, I was going to ask that. Like, people say you're an interesting dude. Like, people mostly, I'm assuming they mean it out of love. I mean, we do. I mean, you take it as a compliment?
I guess I don't really care. So it's
right.
Just what, yeah.
Right. I mean, you hear things like, I know one of your fights, I think Paul Felder or maybe one of the commentators said you couldn't make John Gunther up. Right? You don't believe it if he was real. But I think that's a compliment, man.
Okay,
I mean,
I'll take it that way.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you this, man. Your mustache looks fantastic.
Thank you.
It is a powerful stash, sir.
it's I can't grow anything on the bottom, so I got to try to do whatever I can.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about getting, like, I know you can get hair implants, maybe you can get mustache implants. It's still kind of sparse.
Yeah, I can't do anything on the sides. That's why I like do the long hair. So when I put the hair down, it looks like I have a beard. When I really don't, I can't really do the sides.
Oh, that's a good strategy. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I can't do the sides either. It's nothing grows there. It's just I don't even have to shave.
Do you put some like wax in there or something? Because it's pretty curly, man.
Yeah, wax it up. I mean, normally I'm too lazy, but for your beautiful podcast, I took the time to wax it.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it. I have some mustache wax. You know what? I should have did the John Gunther. I should have. I have some. Man, I missed an opportunity.
See, I can't do that. My hair is way too like fine for that and like soft. So it just, for some reason, when I try and do it, I kind of look goofy. But I've always wanted like that Raleigh fingers like curl to it. I look at that and I'm like, that is. I want to look like a 40s or a 20s boxer. You look like you're about to fight bare knuckle, and I want to see that fight badly.
Yeah, I do too. That sounds like it'd be fun.
Oh, would you do that? Would you do like BKFC or one of those organizations?
I would love to. That's kind of like my bucket list thing. I kind of have to do at least one. I kind of suck at boxing, but but I have to do one, just to say I did. So yeah, I'm going to sometime.
When you saw that was like an option now for fighters, did you believe it? Because like even when I first saw like that BKFC was going to be a thing, I was like, there's no way an athletic commission is really going to allow this. And like, what's for MMA fighters? Like, what do you guys think of that? Because I mean, Jason Knight and Artem Lobov have had pay-per-view numbers. And a couple other fights have gotten big. Chris Lieben's in it. Do you think that's going to be a viable option down the road?
Yeah, I love it. It looks cool. It's terrible for me, probably. I mean, I just got split open in practice tonight. I don't know if you can see, but
yeah, you're staying with a headbutt.
Yeah, I got these pointy cheekbones and like eyebrow ridges, and I just split open so easy. Every half my fights I'll get cut open in, so it's probably terrible for me, but but it sounds like fun.
So you got done, man. So you're up at Strong Style in Cleveland still?
I'm actually I pansied out. I ran away from the winter, and I'm down in Florida. I'm training at MMA Masters in Miami right now.
Oh, cool. Nice, man. What's going on with Miami right now? Sure, it's nice.
It's gorgeous. I'm like, I just asked, like, I have this lifestyle where I can just take off and go wherever I want. So I was like, why am I being miserable in Cleveland? But
Right, it
but it's
makes
kind
sense,
of the
man.
coward's way out. These
Nah,
guys complain about like the shower being cold, and I'm thinking like if I was in Cleveland right now after practice, Marcus would be making us run a polar bear like a 5K in the snow with in our
Oh,
shorts.
jeez.
So
it's cool, man. So, who are you training with down there? Who's all at that gym? Anyone we
uh
know?
there there's a bunch of UFC fighters what's his name trains who's the wrestler the 70 pound oh my brain doesn't
Kamaru
work very
Usman.
well. No, he just
Covington?
fought Covington. Yeah, Kobe Covington's
Okay.
training here. There's a bunch of guys I'm not really like familiar with the names, but like
Nice.
there's several UFC fighters.
That's
And,
cool, man.
and there's guys coming in all the time. Like I think tonight, who's he's an 85er. He's always posting
Right.
Instagram videos. He's got like a beard. What's his name? My
185er with a
brain's just
beard.
not
Why can't I think of him?
Paul Craig? Maybe a lot of people. I don't know.
We're playing a game. We're playing Guess This
Right,
Fighter. Okay.
right. 20 questions, man. I mean, Paul
Okay.
Craig has a beard. I don't know. Mershant, maybe?
No. I think he fought on the same card as me in
In Denver?
when I fought Davi, yeah, in Denver. He lost the Cowboy on that card.
We'll look it up quick. We got a guy
Yeah, I'm
by the
looking
time
it up as
screens
we
here.
speak. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, he's like super well known. I forget. I don't know why I can't remember his name, but
it's the headbutt, probably. Brain
probably
damage
headbutt.
is
That's what it
always the
was.
thing.
it's the CTE. It's all falling apart today. This is not a good day. My brain like fell out of the crack in my skin.
Yeah, and just because you mentioned it jokingly, I'll ask this question: do you worry about like the long terms? I mean, because you've been fighting a while now, and you are planning on continuing to fight. Do you worry about what's maybe going on inside your head?
Not really. I feel like humans are designed to kind of get like bumped around and beat up, and uh, we're really a lot tougher than people think we are. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of the CTE and stuff is exaggerated, but but I don't know. I'm not a good driller child for that because my mind isn't it never worked that great to start with. I'm not very fast on my feet, so but I don't know. I don't really feel like it's any worse. My memory's always been terrible.
Right. Just the thing about like the CTE and the kind of the stuff they're learning about now. It's more of like it's like a long term thing. Like it's not going to affect you now, but it may affect you in 20 years or so.
Yeah.
But either
I-
way,
I-
man, the thing is you're having fun, right?
Yeah, and there's so many fighters and there's so many football players that are fine, and
Right.
then
That's true.
there's so many people that have Alzheimer's or different stuff, and
Mhm.
they didn't do anything, so
Yeah, kind of like the
I don't know.
Alzheimer's gene. Not everyone has like the CTE gene, I guess. So like it doesn't affect
Right.
everyone the same way.
I'm sure if anyone has it, I have it. But oh well.
And by the way, were you talking about Mike Perry?
Mike Perry, yeah.
Oh my God, you got to
Mike
train
Perry-
with
Mike
Psycho?
Perry's- He's training at a gym. That guy.
Yeah.
Is his foot? Is his ankle okay? Did you see that that video of his ankle bleeding? His like ankle and I think his fist were bleeding because he kicked a door, like a plate glass door. This was like I think what Tim 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Recently,
No,
yeah.
I mean he looked fine. I guess I didn't really look too closely at his ankle, but he seemed okay.
Mike Perry seems like that kind of guy at the bar you want to buy a drink for just so he's your ally. Like if something pops off, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna hide behind Platinum Mike Perry and be like, yeah, dude, you take care of me. I'm gonna like sneak out behind you with my hands up, so it looks like a Western bar fight.
He always seems like a nice guy to me. Like he was super friendly in Denver, and so I don't know.
It's probably the fresh air too. That'll help any psychopath.
As long as you're not on his bad side, you're probably good.
It's probably true. If I was in the sunshine in Miami right now, I'd probably be in a better mood too. So that makes sense.
Yeah. It's incredible.
When you decided to go south to get out of the weather, what happened first? Did you decide, hey, I'm going to go to Miami, or did you look for gyms and decide, hey, I want to train there?
I was thinking I want to like leave the country and just do something. I was gonna go to Poland, but everything's shut down with COVID and stuff, and so I was like doing my research, and it seemed like it might be a little sketchy getting back. So then I was like, well, I'm just gonna stay in the States and go somewhere
Head someplace that's open. Yeah. Because like Florida right now is one of the more open states with everything going on. And like, especially like Miami, I could see Miami being a viable thing, especially with you, the way you live. You can just park basically at a beach and have a good time. And I would think, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's nice. I like last Sunday I was just paddling around the Everglades, and I got this like inflatable kayak, and I just paddling around in the Everglades trying to fish, but I suck at it. But
did you say like the thing about I don't like about Florida, and I actually have a friend that has family in the Tampa area, and I know people in the Tampa area as well. Anytime somebody sends me something who lives in Florida, I'm just like, nope, because it's always an alligator. It's always some prehistoric beast that is just like comes up and snatches you like Baba Yaga from Ant-Man. Just like it just snatches the children and takes it away. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to go there. Like to me, it scares me. It's
every time I've been to Florida, I've seen alligators everywhere. And this time, nothing. I haven't seen. I was out on this beach, and there were like hammerhead sharks. They were like, I don't know, there were like tons of them swimming around. I grabbed one by the tail, but there's no. I haven't seen an alligator at all since I've been here, and I've been on the water a lot.
That does not surprise me at all, man. Because I figured like if
I don't
anyone
know if
would,
because it's winter or what it is.
Could be.
No, man. They know John Gunther's down there, man. They see what you do with alpacas and trees. And they're like,
every time I've been previous though, I've always seen like they're like everywhere. I don't understand it. It must be winter. They must go somewhere for winter. I don't know.
It must. Is it cold down there right now?
It's not. I mean, to me, it feels beautiful, but maybe for Floridians, it's like freezing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that could be the thing.
Ray and I both lived in Texas at one point and at different times. But I mean, just you see Texas people when it's like 58, you know, they're and there's giant winter coats and whatnot. Wearing shorts. So I'm sure that's what it's like.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Vegas.
Do flamingos live in Florida? Because I saw like a pink bird the other day. I'm pretty sure it was like a flamingo's flying.
I could actually. I'm going to phone a Florida friend right now. I'm on Messenger and ask if that's a true thing.
Cool.
I'd assume so.
I thought they were like African or something.
Flamingos? No, there's flamingos in America.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, there's probably a flamingo. Yeah.
So I saw a flamingo the other day.
Then. All right.
My favorite hotel actually in Vegas is the Flamingo, and I love the fact they have like a white. I think they have some kind of like rare form of flamingo in like a garden. You can see it like a buffet. That's like one of like the actual like weird things that they have to like get you in. It's like we have flamingos living here, and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then you see it, and you're like, it's a flamingo. Sweet.
I think I've seen it. I don't think I've ever like been in it though.
Vegas is a weird town. I know someone who
cool.
I know someone who we're talking to right now who had to live there for a little bit, man. Right? How long when you're on the Ultimate Fighter? That was in Vegas, right?
Yeah, that was in Vegas, and I've been down there a couple of times, trained at Couture's, and it's nice.
It's cool. Who else do we have on who trained with Couture? Lucas Mast.
Lucas Mast.
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, I've trained with him too. He's
Lucas
kind of like
cool.
Amish country, Holmes County, where I'm originally from.
What? Where are you originally from?
Like Holmes County, like Amish country, like where he's where he's based out of.
Like like Berlin, or I'm from New Philadelphia, so I'm asking like Berlin, Millersburg.
Yeah, like Millersburg area. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's cool, man. Yeah, because I'm in New Philly right now, so yeah, man, I know about that. The
I
Amish
used
country. Right?
to ride my bike to New Philadelphia,
From
and
Millersburg, how long did that take?
it didn't take that long. I don't remember. I used to ride everywhere. Like I'd go to work, and then I'd ride to New Philadelphia, and oh oh no, I didn't ride to New Philadelphia. I went to New Pittsburgh. Yeah, so
Oh, okay,
New
that's the other one.
Philadelphia is further. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Wait, there's a
Um,
new Pittsburgh, Ohio?
I went to New Philadelphia to train. That's near Tuscarawas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do judo over there with
Yeah.
Andrew Law.
There you go, man. Do you yeah, because
Okay.
Andrew's one of my good buddies. We had him on a bunch, and I did judo with him too, and his dad Jim. Did you come down to the YMCA?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
That's cool, man. They're over at I don't know if you ever been to their gym. They have a gym in New Philly now, Route 250 Martial Arts.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
Oh, have you? That's cool, man. Yeah, that's right down the road from where I live.
Yeah, just for like open mats and stuff. It seemed pretty awesome.
Yeah, Andrew kind of runs the program there, but yeah, we've had a bunch of the fighters who worked there on the show before, and I went down there for a smoker that may or may not have actually happened with COVID. Maybe it didn't actually happen, but yeah, it was pretty cool. They're all great down there. I know those guys really well. If I could get my fat ass back in shape, I'll start going back down there and do judo again. But I'm lazy as hell.
Uh,
You gotta just do it. You gotta just bite the
man.
bullet.
I
That's
know,
the
man.
easiest way. Yeah.
I know, and I also know my buddies won't beat me up too bad, because I've known.
And it kind of motivates you. Like when I'm fat, that's the only thing that motivates me is knowing that I got my butt kicked so badly. Then
Right.
then I'm like, okay, I need to eat a little better because I get so tired because it's lugging around the extra weight. It just sucks.
Right.
But
Oh, yeah.
it's like the best motivator, just getting your butt kicked over and over.
Yeah. The hardest 2 weeks I ever worked out in my life is the one time I took a fight, like 8 years ago now. 8 years ago tomorrow, my one amateur fight I've ever had. I worked out super hard because I knew I was going to fight somebody. Right? This is
Yeah, right,
biggest motivator.
right. It's hard. It's so hard to cut weight. I mean, I've been trying to. I'm like, I gotta get this weight down, but it's so hard when you don't have a deadline. When you don't have, okay, I have to be 55 by this date. So it's hard. Although I've been playing around. There's these like it's called diet bet or something, where you can like bet money, and then if you don't make the weight, then they take your money, and then if you make the weight, you like split the money of other people or something.
Oh,
So
Really?
that's really
yeah,
cool.
it's been kind of working for me. I'm like, okay, this is a little motivation. So now I'm finally starting to chew it down because before I'd lose like 10 pounds, and then over the weekend I just gain it back, and it was ugly.
It happens, man. Like, all right, so you've it's been a minute since you fought. You had an injury, right? How's your ACL doing?
Yeah, my ACL, that's all better. It was it was all healed up, and then I wrecked my motorcycle,
Oh shit!
and then I like I had some other injuries, and then I shattered my hand and stuff, and then uh I didn't I got it like pieced back together in Mexico, and they didn't like I don't really speak Spanish, and so they said something about like pull the pin out in 30 days, and I left it in the cast for way too long, and it's like it all like froze up and stuff, so I couldn't like open it or
Oh, no, an
close it.
atrophied. Yeah.
Yeah, it just took forever to get that to like. It's still not quite. It still hurts a little bit because I hit like my these front part of my knuckle hit first before my knuckles, but it's
Oh
getting a lot
no.
better. I'm finally getting where I can punch without it like hurting too bad. And I don't know if you can see, they actually they sh- they made my bone like half an inch shorter, so I'm missing that. Oh shoot, there's a lot of stuff to hold.
It's all
Um,
good.
I'm missing like
Yeah,
that little
I see like
knuckle.
sort of the flattening
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's actually like in. If you look at my other hand, it's actually indented like maybe a
Yeah.
quarter inch, like because the bone's shorter. Because they just like jammed all the little pieces on one pin, like a shish
Oh.
kebab. So now
Oh.
it's like I guess I can't break it again because it's too short to hit anything. But
Didn't you
but
also like shatter your hand on the way to get like a tooth pulled? I read that like it was something of that nature when you were in Mexico. Like it was
yeah,
on the way to the dentist's office, yeah?
I showed up at in Mexico and I'm like I'm gonna get my plan was I'm gonna go my ACLs uh still needs to heal, right? Because they told me like I did the therapy and whatever and everything was good, but they're like you shouldn't really like go hard on it for like 11 months because your body has to actually like turn that the tendon that they strung through, it's got to
Mm-hmm.
like turn it back into the right kind of tendon, so that's to like rebuild it. So they said like if you go too crazy it can just like shear off and then you're back to square one. So I was like, well,
Yeah.
I told myself all the time like I'm training full time and whatever, I'm like, well, eventually you'll get injured and then you'll have a chance to travel. So I was like, yeah, I'm injured now. This is my chance. I'm gonna. So I've been kind of wanting to go through uh in between Colombia and that other country, Panama maybe. There's like a spot where it's like totally there's no roads or anything. It's just jungle. And I was thinking it'd be so I want to go through the Darien Gap right there and just
Yeah.
because there's trails and there's like drug dealers and stuff that go through there, but there's no roads. So I was gonna just take my little motorcycle, and it's real small, and I was gonna just try to figure my way through there. But I never made it very far because I stopped in Mexico. I was gonna get my teeth done, and they're like, "Oh, it's infected or something." So they like take these antibiotics for a week and then come back in a week. So I was just driving around exploring Mexico for a week, and then I was on my way back to the dentist place. I was like a couple miles from there, and I was just like sightseeing and looking around, and I'm just terrible driver, and just drove off the road and wrecked something,
Oh god.
and then yeah, I just shattered my hand, and then I like wrapped tape around the accelerator and put it around my wrist so I could like pull my arm back to accelerate because I couldn't grab it. And and then I went to I'm like I'm gonna get the stupid tooth fixed. I've been waiting around for a week. So I went to the dentist and they were like, yeah, you should go to the hospital. You're all covered in blood. And then they worked on it for like hours and like I don't know what they were doing. They were like cauterizing things and stuff. Something was obviously not going right because they were like called some other person in and like but then they're like, yeah, come back tomorrow. We're not gonna be able to finish. so,
Oh
so then
Jesus.
I went to the hospital and I got my hand fixed and I got out of there late and but I was like, well, I'm just gonna go anyway. So I went back to the dentist and I they were able to fix it. I actually met some guy. He was like the first guy I met that spoke English and he was a trucker from Canada and I couldn't really ride my bike anymore because I couldn't grab it. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, I can't guarantee you anything, but I can maybe throw if they don't put a seal on the back. I'm taking a load of tomatoes back to Canada, and we can just throw your bike in the back." And so uh, it worked out. Like we shoved the bike in the back amongst the boxes of tomatoes. There was like just enough room to shove it in there if we let the air out of the tire and he gave me a ride all the way back to Ohio. It was pretty sweet.
Dude, I
That's
really hope
awesome.
you write a book someday. Like all this stuff, man. This is great. So, okay, so you were just down there because you just wanted to explore places, right? You decided, hey, let's take the house van down or the motorcycle. Right, the motorcycle down.
Yeah, I was just riding the motorcycle then because my idea was to go across the Darien Gap, but I failed miserably. Only made it to Mexico.
So that stuff happened when you were in Mexico. That's why you had this stuff done in Mexico, right? You just happened to be in Mexico.
Yeah, I just happened to be there.
Okay.
And,
that's cool. I was just gonna ask because I don't know if it was because it's like cheaper or whatnot. Because I was gonna ask about like insurance and whatnot with the UFC.
yeah, I mean, I got my teeth done there because I was like, well, I heard it was cheap, so, and it was pretty cheap. They didn't do a great job. That place I went to, like, I don't know, it got it like infected and stuff, and then I went back later to a different place in Mexico, and they just pulled that tooth out, and they did a good job, but but the first place, whatever they were doing, it took like 10 hours. They were like they were like by hand, like running these little. I'm like, this cannot be cost effective. Like they must have made like 50 cents an hour or something by the end of it. It was ridiculous.
They were practicing voodoo in the back with your teeth. That's why they needed it like ground up like that.
They like, I don't know, like I've never had a root canal before, but I can't imagine it takes like it can't take like it had to be like 14 hours of like running different like sizes by hand and drilling holes and like cauterizing things. There's like smoke coming out of my mouth, and they x-rayed me like 100 times. Like I probably did more damage to my brain than anything.
It sounds like you went to the doctor from the Michael Keaton Batman. Like mirror.
I mean, the second place I went to was amazing, but and they were like super professional and like looked like they knew what they were doing. The first place was like they were like calling other people over, and then like they'd give up and send me off to somebody else. It was just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the worst had to be that the fact that no one spoke English, man. Like you don't know what's going on. Everyone's screaming at each other in Spanish, and you're just sitting there on the table trying to figure out what's going on, right?
The funny part was in the hospital, like the one lady spoke some English, and she was like the billing lady, and my card wouldn't work because apparently they use like a different type of credit card over there. Like every other country I've been in, you can just swipe your credit card and it works.
That's weird.
Different. Yeah, so that for a while there, they were kind of like, yeah, I was kind of like stuck in the hospital because I was fixed and whatever, but I couldn't pay. So
oh my god!
I was like stuck there, and they wouldn't let me go. But luckily, I worked it out because
did they hold you prisoner? They hold you captive. They wouldn't let you leave until you paid.
I mean, they didn't chain me down or anything, but they're just like, yeah, stay here until we figure this out. So,
what's like your favorite country you've ever traveled to? Where's like a place that you went and it's like, oh my god, like this is amazing. What's your favorite?
I mean, New Zealand is just like beautiful, but Africa is just kind of like wild, you know. I really, it was crazy, insane.
Oh, we're having a little bit of a sound issue.
Oh yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Africa was just a crazy experience. I was going through like Zimbabwe during the time when their Mugabe was getting like kicked out and he had overinflated the money supply, so their dollars were like $10 million bills that they were paying the police. Like all the government workers were getting paid with this fake money that was worth nothing, so they were just quit and like freelancing on their own, and it was just insane.
Especially during the Mugabe regime. You want to talk about like, and we don't really get political on this, but like I've like seen some stuff on him. And you want to talk about a guy that really dealt in misinformation and like xenophobia. Mugabe was one of those guys, man, that
Oh yeah.
you look at him and you're like, Jesus Christ, how do you live with yourself? Like,
Yeah, I didn't know a lot about him or anything, but the people like there hated him. And then I was actually friends on Facebook with the one guy, and like they had like ousted him, and then he came back after that. Like so they were all talking smack on him, and then they're like, after he's back in, they're like, "Oh, we love him," but I
Yeah,
don't know. It was pretty crazy.
yeah. That
the way he.
inflation is. I was gonna say that inflation in Zimbabwe's nuts. Why don't they have like $30 trillion bills and shit? Like,
Yeah, it was insane. Like I had these $1 million bills that were worth nothing, and I took like 100 of them back, and I would whenever I'd like go to a restaurant, I'd like I'd throw one of those in there with the tip, and people would like freak out. It was amazing because it actually says like it's Zimbabwe dollars, so it
right.
says like $1 million. It's pretty crazy, yeah. But they're worth like absolutely
Right.
nothing. Yeah,
Right.
they were just using American dollars and rands at the time.
Okay.
So when you gave a waiter $1 million Zimbabwe dollar, they thought you gave him a great tip. Then they checked the exchange rate and realized you still.
Yeah, it's like people would always like go show all their friends and whatever. It was kind of fun, but it was I ran out pretty fast.
That's crazy, man.
That's amazing. What was like another going to Africa? Like, what countries did you visit besides Zimbabwe?
I don't think it exists anymore, but it used to be called Malawi, which is where we started. And then we went through Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa.
I'm checking my map behind me.
But it's called something else now, I think. Stuff's always like changing names.
That is. You want to talk about a country that's in complete influx all the time. Like, you look at even the history of like South Africa. You look at that, and the statistics for crime and everything. I was actually I went on a couple dates with a girl from South Africa, and some of the stuff she would tell me about, like the houses, there's like a gate and then another gate. There's like 3 gates in someone's home just to keep people out. Crime is that bad in South Africa, where you're like, Jesus Christ, why am I there?
Yeah, when I was there, South Africa was like the civilized, like the nice part of it. They had like cities, and like it was pretty like pretty nice. I mean, and just beautiful beaches, and it was and everyone's super friendly. Yeah, but like, I mean, stuff changes like depending on what the time and stuff.
Like nowadays,
this is during still like kind of apartheid era. Like this was still like the 90s. She lived there in the 90s, so it was still kind of tensions were still high back in those days for sure.
Huh.
I was gonna say like nowadays it's pretty all right, but yeah, there's times in South Africa's history, apartheid and all that. It was kind of nuts.
Yeah.
So who do you do these trips with, man? You said you took that's like a solo trip on your motorcycle, right? Just down to Mexico. But who do you do these trips with when you go abroad?
Just kind of. I went to Africa with a friend of mine. He was looking at like a job on this rice farm, and then I ended up getting stuck there because he went back. They lost our luggage at the airport, and so we bought like a bunch of just clothes to wear while we were there, and then he went back and to get our stuff, and he was just gone for like a week. This guy he went with, he didn't really have a gas tank. He just had like a gallon jug like rigged up over his carburetor.
Jesus.
And then like we were out on this, like it was out in the middle of nowhere. Like you would have to hike off the road on these little mud trails for like miles back in to where we were by this giant lake. And everyone got malaria. And they were trying to like grow. They had like 80 people working for them, and so like before they got malaria, they were like showing me like what they're doing and stuff, and like so then everyone got malaria. It was like, but I was taking the malaria pills, luckily. So I
That's
was like, I
good.
ended up like running this rice farm, and I'm like running. People were complaining because uh, like we were trying to like I sectioned it off in like squares so we could like have some way of like telling what sections people had planted or weeded because it was just kind of a mess. And and then some squares like had more weeds than others. So I had the one guy that spoke a little English kind of like running things for me, and then I was going around like helping out with the bad squares. So I was just out in the sun, uh, stomping around in the mud. Like you take like the little shoots of rice and you like stick them into the mud, and then you go weed all this stuff by hand. And uh it was crazy. It was awesome, but they made fun of me so bad because I just got burnt and had like these blisters all over me. I was just because I
Oh,
was so white. It's terrible. All my skin
uh,
was like peeling off. It looked like I had some disease.
So
heat blisters are nothing to fuck with. I did landscaping in 2000. I worked for a landscaping company in 2019,
but
and
not
I
in
made
Africa, Ray. Not in
but
Africa.
sun blisters are sun blisters, sir. Those are painful as
I don't
fuck,
know,
man.
I don't know.
John's even said,
It
like,
was
dude, they
it was
suck. Come
terrible.
on.
It was terrible. It was
Um,
just I looked like I had leprosy or something.
yeah. Yeah, dude. Like I had them on my shoulder, right here, and I have on this arm, I have a flogging Molly tattoo, and it looked like kind of discolored like the ink I had. It
Oh,
hurt for like 3 weeks. I was doing nothing but putting like skin cream on it, just like please just heal. Please just heal.
yeah,
It was so bad, man. Oh, that sucks.
yeah.
Oh. Oh, it makes me like cringe just thinking about that pain.
So
But I have a weird set of skills now. I'm really good at plant. I know how to plant rice. So
I was about to say you could go over to Thailand and go with Tiger Muay Thai and get a side job. Like you'd be fine.
I have my friend actually. He won the scholarship over there, and I went down there with him and trained there.
What was
That
that
was awesome.
experience like?
that's cool.
It's beautiful. That's like that's another beautiful place. And I was there on New Year's, and that was insane. They had they set off like everyone in the world like sets off. There's no like laws on how big of a firework you can set off, and so everyone is it's like the biggest fireworks show ever because it's not just one person setting off 100 fireworks. It's everyone buying these crazy fireworks and setting them off on the beach, and then there's like people packed shoulder to shoulder. It's crazy, and you can't even you can barely walk. I guarantee some people got trampled and stuff, but there's
Oh,
like
for
cars
sure.
that just get stuck, and people are just walking over top of the cars.
Yeah.
And you're walking along the
Wow.
beach, just pushing your way through, and then suddenly there's like a little opening. It's because someone's setting fireworks off, and then they're setting off all these like floating paper lanterns. The whole sky is just covered in these beautiful
Yeah.
floating. And then so you got fireworks, you got all these just thousands of these floating lights, and then on the ocean there's all these little floating little candles that are just floating around. It's unbelievable. It's so beautiful.
And that whole thing is a cool thing because a lot of times what that is it's basically like they're saying the spirits. I like Eastern mythology. Like I like any kind of mythology, Greek, Roman, Eastern mythology, shit like
Interesting. Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So like it's always fun to like see to talk about that where it's like it's the spirits of their family members. Like some people believe that's why they put them up in the air or on the boats. It's so they can be with their family members during
Oh,
that time.
they had these little spirit houses too. They'd have
Yeah.
like every little place would have like a little house, and then they put like a can of pop out there and stuff for I don't know what. And then they had this thing like one day I woke up and like people are walking down the street. There's like paper dragons and everyone's got like food out there. And then there's guys that have they've cut their like holes in their cheeks, and they've shoved like like shotguns through like either side of their cheek where they've cut like a slice. And like all kinds of like one guy's got like 100 pins. It's called the Vegetarian Festival. If you YouTube it or something, it's the most insane thing. There was a guy that he stuck a bike through either of his cheek, and he had his mouth, and then he welded it back together, and a bike through his cheeks, and then they walk. I looked it up, and they're like it's to celebrate, I guess, like the Buddhists were vegetarians and everyone else died of some plague or whatever, and they didn't. But I don't really. And then there's something about they think like some of these people like they think they're like possessed by like spirits, and that's basically they make their living that way though. Like one day they walk around. They cut some holes in their mouth, and everyone gives them money and like food and stuff. They're trying to like drink stuff and just pouring out the holes in their cheek. It was you never see anything like it.
That sounds insane, and
there's people on chairs, and they're setting off all these firecrackers, and they have no shirts on, and then they're like falling on their backs, and it's just the craziest thing you've ever seen.
I feel like the panhandlers in America are weak, man. Cut a hole in your cheek if you want some money.
Vegetarians, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Cut a hole in your cheek with a shotgun and a bicycle through there.
I don't understand what it has to do with vegetarianism, but
it's lack of vitamins, probably. They're like, now we must hurt each other. It's like those dudes in, I think it's Mexico, that every Easter they like flog themselves, and it's somewhere in, I think, South America, and they actually like put themselves on crosses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like nail each other, and you can see like the stigmatas, and some guys do it like multiple times, and it's I've seen like Ripley's Believe It or Not, when that used to be a show with Dean Cain. They showed that, and I was like maybe 12, and just
the world is so
that,
crazy. They're like, so interesting. Yeah. There's so many interesting things happening that you don't even know exist. You know, it's crazy.
Dude, it's really cool that you go out and try to find it, though, man. That's pretty awesome.
I wish I need to figure a way I can do more of it. It's
tough right now. Right, we're not allowed a lot of places right now. There's only a handful of places to let us go right now because of COVID.
Yeah, it's just depressing.
I haven't been to enough places, man. I was in Europe when I was 18. That's it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see. It's hard for me because I want to be fighting, and I feel like I have to. If you want to be good, you have to like dedicate yourself to train, and it's hard to just train at different places because they don't really know you, you know, and they're not really like invested in you, and they don't know how to coach you, and they don't know your style, they don't understand you. But at the same time, like I wish I could just like travel and train and fight different places. I got to work out a way that I can do this. I haven't figured it out yet.
I mean, it's definitely possible, right? I mean, you're not with a promotion right now, are you?
No.
Yeah,
no, so I'm free right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's places all over the world, man. You know, there's Ryzen in Japan, and there's ONE FC that, you know, there's all those promotions all over the world. I mean, I know it's tough now with COVID, but I mean, there's definitely. I mean, I was going to ask you that. Now, what's you're training right now? What's your plan for the future in fighting? You trying to get a fight somewhere, or what's going on?
I don't know. I kind of wanna do this bare knuckle boxing, but then I don't know. Like I had this. My thought is why everyone has access to a live stream video now in today's. Sure. So why do we still use the same business model for fighting that we've always used? So my thought is why couldn't I have the freedom to just go to someone and say, hey, me and so are going to fight. If we could hit X amount of dollars on crowdfund or something, then we'll release footage of us, a live stream of us training, and then you would have the freedom to play by whatever rules you wanted to. And I don't know. I feel like, I mean, Conor McGregor obviously could do something like that because he's got enough pull, but
Right.
Yeah.
I I feel like it's a matter of time before I don't see why fighters need promotions, or most people that go to see a fight are going to see two fighters.
Yeah.
So why do we need to tie ourselves down to a promotion where we're locked into so many fights? And I could fight every week if I could figure this out. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of trying to like, I'm trying to kind of figure out a way that I can I could just do like gym wars somehow and just go to
Yeah.
people's gyms and just whatever rules they want to go, let's do something. But I
That
I
would
haven't.
I would pay for that every time. Like if you were to
That-
just tell, because that sounds like, and I'm a big pro wrestling fan. It sounds like the old territory days where like guys would just go from like place to place, and they would be the attraction just based off of who they were because they had seen them. And I mean, what's also cool about that too is there are promotions, and BKFC is one of them, that includes when you pay for like their app, they get, it's like $3.99. It's like $4 for a month. And you get the pay-per-views included in that. I think that should be like, if you're already paying something for, it's like UFC. I mean, you get
Yeah,
all kinds
yeah.
of stuff like LFA, that kind of stuff, but you don't get the pay-per-views until a month later. I think that would be a really good way to drive like those kind of things. Where it's like, hey, the pay-per-view is included. You don't have to pay $59.99. That kind of thing would be a good way to start, and then cut in everybody, because if you do it low enough, and like I said, bare knuckles doing it for $4.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people have $4 on them to watch a fight, that even if it's bare knuckle. And I think that's going to be kind of the way of the future for that.
And I
Is
think it could be even cheaper if it's just the
Yeah.
fighters getting paid, if you're
Yeah.
cutting all the middlemen out.
Yeah.
And it's inevitable that somebody does this. So I'm
Yep.
I just have to work out I gotta
Yeah.
think more.
You know, that's interesting. Especially, I mean, I feel like if there's any time to do it, it'd be now, right? Because crowds aren't a factor
Right.
now in a lot of places because you can't have crowds. So if there's
Right.
anywhere to do it, it'd be now. But you would have to have someone to host. I mean, you could build your own website to host this.
I
live
feel like I
stream.
just gotta I should hire someone to like run some good cameras and release like a quality live
Right.
stream,
I mean, the thing is,
and
there's
then just go to people's gyms and like I don't care. I don't need referees. Like the people watching can decide who won, but I don't know. That's
you know
that would
what?
be fan voting would be
I'm
That
great
crazy
for that.
now.
fan
Yeah.
voting judging, dude, that would be fun. I mean, it wouldn't be like an official fight or whatever because you have to go through
Right.
commissions and
then
whatnot.
then I don't need the commission. Then we can
Yeah.
play a round of chess in between, or we can do whatever. Like
They
I
do
can
that
do
in
bare
Russia.
knuckle. I can do two guys versus one. I have so much freedom. I would love to just have a way where I could be free to do what to fight as much as I want, and I wouldn't be tied down to a certain promotion. Or and then every person you fight, their fans are seeing you, and you're building yourself instead of building this promotion. So I don't know.
Dude, I really
I
like
just
some of these
I think it's
ideas.
crazy that we have access to this technology, and every single person has their own live stream
Yeah.
system that
Yeah,
with these different that we've have for hundreds of years.
right. I mean, the thing is, I mean, in this country, it's commissions have to okay everything. But if you just say, "Hey, I'm just going to fight somebody
Oh no!
in their gym,"
Oh
right,
no! I
and
think
you
I
can pretty
lost
much do
my
Oh,
whatever
you're
you
sound.
fine.
want. Oh,
Oh, you lost the sound? You lose you? Technical issues, everybody.
we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I
Can you hear
never
us?
good at sign language.
Oh, you can't hear us again?
Oh, no.
When I was a kid,
Uh,
we thought
you
my
get
brother was deaf, so we had to learn like a little bit of sign language and cued speech. And I forget
Can you
it
hear
now.
us?
So
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Oh no, we lost him.
Should plug and unplug maybe.
Yeah, plug in and unplug it.
Plug and unplug.
Plug and
I'll just
unplug.
nod and
Plug
wave.
and
I don't know if
unplug.
you can hear me.
We can hear you.
We can hear you. Fine. You're fine.
Maybe let me try this.
Oh no, we lost John Gunther, and this has been a great podcast.
No, it's been so much fun.
Oh no, hold on. He's lost his mic now.
He's muted.
Man,
he's muted.
Yeah, mute.
I'm gonna Facebook again.
Yeah, hit him up on the Facebooks. Hit him up. Tell him to unplug and plug back in. We'll be fine.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Wait. Hold on. Your mic is muted. Period. Click it to unmute it. Period. And then plug your headphones in and out. See if that works.
We messaged you, pretty boy. You on? He's out again, but he'll be back.
I hope so, man. This is fun. This has been great. John's awesome.
This has been one of the best podcasts we've had. John Gunther is a wild man, and I must meet him at least once face to face. This dude, he seems like the kind of guy I want to like just talk to, and not even like drinking or anything like that. This dude looks like the kind of guy I'd want to be around all the time. We haven't even gotten into like what he does for a living.
We didn't even talk about fighting or the alpaca stuff. Yeah. Well, hopefully we can get him back. We'll see. I messaged him. I'm gonna go to the bathroom quick. So if he comes back, you got him.
Yeah, we'll continue talking to him. I'm gonna go into the studio along with Harrison. Harrison, you don't need to come on, but I'm just looking because I can see this stuff. But yeah, John's back. So let's see if he is on. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can. Sorry.
Yay!
I'm the
Tim
worst.
went to the bathroom, so he'll be right back. But yeah, man, like I was just saying, this is probably one of our best podcasts just because of like your stories. I love the fact that one, you're in a travel van, and doing your thing in Miami, and like the stories you have, because I did read that there was an article that came out on UFC's website in July of 2020, and that Mexico story was there, and I just remember my jaw dropping when I heard you broke your wrist on a motorcycle and still got a tooth pulled. I was like, that is the manliest human being I've ever met in my life, dude. And it must come from like you being down here, like in middle Ohio, in that area where you grew up, and like living in Amish country, especially. I've done pest control in Amish country, and it's a different world, man. Like it's
you do pest control.
Yeah,
like do you go to Amish farms and get rid of pests or?
No. I never went to an Amish house. It was mostly like non-Amish people, like non-Amish that lived in like Ashtabula County.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, our neighbors were Amish and they had like 100 acres, and we would just go out. We'd push the lawn. When we were like little tiny kids, they'd tie a couple of us on the front with hay strings, and we'd pull the push mower. Like we were just like free labor. I remember going out and we'd shuck corn and do all that, and drive the horses at Shaka de Wetzefeld and Mid-Oak Fresa, Grumbaramosh and Gravy. I can speak some Dutch.
That area of the country, any place that Amish exists within the United States, that's a different work ethic, man. Like that is definitely a work ethic that like a lot of people don't really know. It's fascinating to watch them like be just the savages that they are from sun up to sundown. Like, because I used to go to Middlefield a lot, so that has a huge Amish population, and like just to like watch them do their work while like I'm sitting in my truck waiting to go to a stop, it made me feel lazy as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like a different world. I helped them move one time, and we loaded like all this stuff into a semi, and it's amazing. Like when you get, enough people onto anything, it moves. It's just like
Oh yeah.
ants, right? We were like picking up these giant diesel engines, just like it's nothing. It's insane.
Yeah, man. It's an like I love and also the just I don't even know how to describe it. It's just that like the fact that they've kept their like whole system in place for just millennia and like it's just there. I always also love Rumspringa documentaries. Those are always fun. Did you ever like run into any like kids doing that when you were like growing up in that area?
Not really. I'm not really like. I mean, the kids we were with were pretty good kids. I don't. And like, it's so weird because there's so many different like branches. There's so many different churches, and everyone's doing their own different things. So it's like there's Schwarzenegger. It's like everyone's got like different rules, and it varies so much. So when you say Amish, like
Yeah.
it could be something totally different.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, I umpire high school baseball, and I've said on this podcast multiple times that the kids in Amish country are just fantastic athletes. I think
Oh
it's a
yeah.
lot because of discipline or whatever. I mean, Highland High School, their baseball team's amazing, and I just
Huh.
said I don't know. I think it has something to do with just being living out there. Even the ones that aren't Mennonite or Amish, just living that way and just I don't know, living on that farm country and being hardworking kids. It's a
Yeah.
good work ethic you get out there.
Yeah, like
And
a lot of kids nowadays don't grow up working, so just knowing how to use your body is kind of a huge advantage.
oh, for sure.
I mean, you grew
Absolutely.
up in the country, right, with a big family. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
What does your family do?
My dad is a computer programmer, but none of us really followed those footsteps. I'm like the least geeky person ever. Like I'm terrible. I asked my mom for help with the computer, so that kind of tells you how bad it is.
That's funny. I want to ask you, and how did you get into the line of work that you do, which is like shearing alpacas and llamas and stuff like that? How did you get into that?
My sister, she got a couple sheep, and I guess the sheep shearer did a terrible job and and like messed all her fleeces up. So they sent me away to shearing school to like this 3-day course or something to learn how to shear sheep. And I learned how to shear sheep, and I started like shearing like local people's sheep. And I just some people started having alpacas. It was like a new thing at the time. They were like importing them, and they were like super expensive back then. It was like hundreds of thousands of dollars per animal, and they didn't know how to get them shorn, so they were just asking sheep shearers, and we just I didn't really know what I was doing. The first farm I shore for, the lady was legally blind, so we like the way the way you trim them, they're they show them and stuff. So it's kind of like a mix between sheep shearing and poodle trimming. You leave their
Okay.
tail. They have these weird, like they just have rat tails basically, but they look stupid if you just buzz it off. So you kind of like sculpt their tails into a puffy, beautiful, and like on top of their head is just flat. They're weird looking animals. So like they leave this little puff on top of their head. So you it's kind of like poodle trimming a
Yeah.
little bit. But the first ones I did, I had no idea what I was doing. I just buzzed them. But fortunately the lady was blind. So it encouraged me. She's like, "Oh, you did a great job." I just convinced my dad to like help me like hold them down, and I had no idea what I'm doing, but eventually I just figured it out over the years, and it's kind of a weird thing.
Are alpacas the ones that spit?
Yeah, they spit this nasty like green slime everywhere, and they'll
Yeah.
scream. And if if they've been handled a lot, then they're real. They don't scream or spit, you know. But if they're
Okay.
not handled regularly, then they're pretty crazy.
Wow.
So you have to. I mean, what do? You have to basically just take them down and hold them down, and when you're shearing them.
Yeah, so you got like in order to get through their fiber, you have to use these. The blades are the teeth on it. Like if you think of like a hair clipper, your teeth on your comb are very close together, so you can't really cut yourself. But the teeth I'm using, they're like you can fit a finger in between each of the teeth, so you
Oh
can
my.
like cut them real bad if you mess up. So you really have to like immobilize them so they don't get cut or something. So we just
Aw.
take them down and we tie them down, and then they hate it, but it's over quickly at least.
Yeah. What's your record speed wise? What's how many like have you shorn in a day?
The most I've shorn is 130 something, or no, 100 167. But
Whoa.
that was midnight. So
That's insane, man.
yeah,
That's nuts. So now do you have like when is shearing season? When is shearing season?
it's coming up here. It's gonna be April, May, June. So
Gotcha.
that's
Okay.
yeah. I gotta
So you have
kind
like
of
a
take
client
off and
list
do
that you
that
just
this.
hit up and that time of year?
Yeah, just over the years, just keep building more and more people. So we're pretty much like packed out for 3 months, as many as we can do.
Right. And
Nice.
that was one of your UFC fights. I remember you said in an interview that it was like shearing season, right? So like you were
Yeah, it
working
was
and they showed a
terrible.
fight at the same time.
It was terrible because I couldn't really train, you know. My my first UFC fight, it was terrible because I would cheer all day, and then I would just try to like get to a gym and try to do something at night, and I really was not in the kind of shape I usually am. But I got lucky and I won at least.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about. I mean, people, casual MMA fans see Conor McGregor and him as multiple yachts and whatnot, but like what the people don't talk about is people like you or guys who they're working the whole time and have to work, right? I mean, geez, I mean, how tough is that to try to balance both?
Yeah, fortunately, like I only have to work like a couple months, and usually if I can fight in the off season, it works out pretty nice because I can train full time and really devote myself. But yeah, it was just bad timing.
uh,
But
I
a
what
mean,
lot of people do have to keep a full time job.
yeah,
But,
Jeff Neal still waits tables,
mhm.
and he's like top 10 in the world,
Yeah, that's impressive.
right?
it's let's talk a little bit about like you in the UFC because I do want to get into this, especially getting into with your lifestyle and what you have compared to the other guys in that were in the house on Tough. How happy were you when you got on to when you or let's just talk about that. What was your process for getting on Tough like at the time? Because I know Andrew Law told us that it was like you had to get like votes on Twitter at some point. What was like your process for getting on the Ultimate Fighter?
So I kind of got lucky because it was the undefeated season, so it wasn't nearly as competitive as it usually is uh, because there just wasn't, there's not a ton of undefeated people. So I just luckily hadn't gotten beaten up to that point, and I tried out, and basically everyone that was half decent. They took because there really wasn't, it wasn't like there was tons of people that could string together, 5 or 6 wins.
What was the when you got in? Like, what did you guys have? Like a cattle call? Like, did they weigh you? Did they do all that kind of stuff? Or because Andrew told us like that they had like a time when they rolled. He had to roll with somebody. I think it was Tim. Is that if I remember that
Oh
correctly?
yeah. So we went in there. They like interviewed us and saw like how terrible we were, and then they had us like hit pads and then just like roll with a couple people, and then they I mean, for my season, the 170. I thought about saying I was gonna fight 170 because I thought, well, maybe that's better because you have to cut weight so many times. But I'm glad I didn't because they didn't take the 170s. So, but I mean, most of the 55ers, there just really wasn't a ton of undefeated people. So it wasn't. I think otherwise, probably I wouldn't have made it on. They would have been like, "You're too stupid to be on TV."
Nah, I doubt they say that, man. You see some of the guys that are on that show. I doubt that's what they say. No, but I mean, and also, I mean, you had a teammate, a strong style was a coach. Steve Bay was a coach.
Yeah, we didn't know that at the time. Like
Oh yeah,
they picked us out, and then they they actually flew us to Vegas, and they did like a bunch of like brain scans and all kinds of like medical stuff to make sure we're like not injured or whatever. And then like they had some disagreement with the coaches, or I don't know what was going on, but we were supposed to start, and it was like weeks before. We were just locked up in the hotel, and they had taken our phones and stuff. So because they don't want like people like texting news out and leaking information. So
yeah,
we had no phones, and we couldn't really go anywhere or train. And we were just locked in the hotel room, and they would just like let us down to go ride the bike for a couple hours, and we'd just be shadow. We were all separated. We couldn't talk to each other. We just were in like a hotel room, shadow boxing in front of a mirror for a couple weeks. And then luckily, like one of the camera guys was like cool and like held pads for us, and he convinced them to let us go train in the gym. So they would take us to the gym, let us go train, and we just kind of trained with each other for a little bit. Everyone was like speculating on who the coaches were going to be. We thought it was going to be like the women. We thought it was going to be uh, who was there were a bunch of people saying it was going to be
Joanna and somebody did the next season, right?
no, it's like the big the 145 champ. What's her
Who was
name?
the 145 champ at that
I
time?
cannot think of a UFC fighter's name to save my life today. But no, Amanda Nunes,
Yeah.
Nunes versus Cyborg.
Oh, okay.
Everyone was saying.
Oh
It was
yeah,
gonna
that
be,
was
and
they were
then
building at first, wasn't it?
and then like so we're kind of like we had no idea, and then finally, and everyone's like we're all speculating, and we don't know whose team anyone's going to be on. So we're just kind of training together, but kind of avoiding people in the same weight class. It was kind of awkward, And then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh yeah, we got the coaches," and they bring us in, and it's like Stipe and stuff. But yeah, we had no idea. It was like it was a mystery to us.
That's so weird that they coop you guys up in hotels that long, man. Like,
I
I mean,
know.
yeah, I mean, just being in the house to begin with had to be kind of nuts, but then they
It
did that
kind of,
to you
it kind of.
beforehand.
I was like, I'm gonna lose my conditioning and stuff. It was kind of terrible, but they must
Uh,
have had like some sort of like finagling over who the coaches were gonna be, or I don't know what was happening behind the scenes,
maybe.
but something was like off with their timing. So they ended up like the season had to be done faster. So we would fight every week, and
Wow.
it was crazy.
How
And
long
then
were you?
like
Go ahead, sorry.
oh yeah, and then I lost my first fight, so I was like, I was desperate. I was like, I gotta get another fight. That was terrible. So I would like cut down to 55 every single week, just in case someone like slipped and didn't make weight or something. It was, and then we would weigh in the morning. So I would like weigh in just in case, and then I would just go through the practice in the morning all dehydrated and stuff, just hoping that like just in case. But it was
Were you the
crazy.
only other guy doing that?
Yeah, I was just like hoping that I could like sneak in and get another fight. So
Do you think that had anything to do with you and just being ready at all times? Do you think that had anything to do with the fact that you got that second chance when the guy went down hurt?
oh yeah, 100%. I mean, everyone knew that I was trying very hard to be on in that spot.
Right, man.
And you deserved it, man. Like, and that's the thing. Like, especially knowing that about the behind the scenes portion, like the second chance makes it even sweeter to get, back on the show like that. No?
Yeah, yeah, it was really awesome that it worked out. It was kind of touch and go, but it was it I really can't complain. Like I mean, I didn't make it work, but I mean, they gave me every opportunity to make it work, so I
Yeah,
really can't complain about it.
that's
Right,
awesome.
man. No, and you had a good show in that second fight for sure. How long were you at the house altogether?
It was shorter than it should have been. I can't remember exactly, but it was less time because we wasted a bunch of time at the start
Yeah.
in that hotel and stuff.
What was that like, man? What was that like getting used to like you living in a house with a bunch of guys and cameras being everywhere and they want confrontation to happen and all that and like I'm sure
It
you
was
don't have
so
phones.
cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. I miss my guy that would just follow me around. Like if you wake up in the middle of the night, they've got the whole house like bugged. So some guy comes out with a big camera, just to like
Oh,
catch anything just in case. So it makes you feel important. Like I wish I had a guy that just follow me around with the camera all the time.
They had
But
a guy in like John Gunther piss duty. Like
yeah. I mean, the I wish it was nice. It was nice for the diet too, because you're like, I don't really want to be the guy that's on the show just like stealing people's food from
yeah.
the pantry. So you tend to eat a little better. I feel like everyone should have, if you're a drug addict or you're trying to accomplish some goal, it's so much easier to be like uh to be held accountable if you know at every time that someone's could be watching you.
Yeah.
You're just going to be a better person. So I kind of wish I was always on camera, because I would behave in a lot better ways and I would eat a lot better.
dude, I'd watch
It's not-
that show, I'll tell you that much.
I was. It sounds like Intervention almost. Like if you ever watch the show Intervention, like they act like so nice on camera, and they're just total scumbags when they're like not on camera. Like you have to think like anything they're doing right now on Intervention, they're probably way worse than what they could have been on camera. And you're like, I want to see that. I want to see the director cut. If there's a Snyder cut
Yeah.
of Intervention, I would want to see it. Like that would be
I
so good. Like
I would love just to. Someone needs to go back and buy. This footage is just. I
Mhm.
can't imagine how many hours of footage they took for that show, and you could
yeah,
edit it together, and you could make 10 episodes. You could make 10 different episodes, and tell a totally different story with the footage they have.
oh
So
yeah,
I feel like that'd be a great business model. Is someone should just go back, find a popular TV show that people loved, and just go back and say, "Hey, we want all your footage," and we're gonna repiece it together and redo this series. It's like you can't fail because you have built-in fans already, and
Yeah.
there's so much footage that they didn't use for whatever reason that you could piece together a whole nother season.
They
Yeah.
used to that was the they used to do that back in like the early 2000s
Really?
when DVDs were starting to get big. Was
Huh.
like they would do like the lost episodes or stuff that really wasn't on. And I do think that's a great model. Like
See,
just
that'd
I
be
would love to see
fun.
like
I would love to watch that. I mean, The Ultimate Fighter is like not super popular, but if you take some popular show, you can't fail, can you?
not really. I mean, if you took a lot of stuff possibly that like scenes that were cut from Friends, I guarantee you could get people to like watch the like deleted episode or make them deleted episodes with like all the not
Yeah,
outtakes but like alternative scenes that they may have shot that day.
yeah,
That would be sick, man. That would be
yeah.
I want to ask oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just saying with a reality show too. There's like you can tell whatever story you want, like
Yeah.
you could tell a completely different story just by focusing on different. They had so much footage. I don't know if every reality show is like that because we had I actually had like some guy come out and shoot a pilot of us shearing. He wanted to do a reality show like years and years ago from England. He wanted to do, and he was telling us like, oh, it's we're gonna want you to like go do some fun stuff, and they were gonna kind of stage stuff. It wasn't gonna be like the cool thing about the Ultimate Fighter is they actually like they're in there with cameras, like actually getting everything. Whereas he was like, what he was saying is they would like set up different things, and it didn't sound as cool. So,
Yeah, I was actually about to like when we were talking about like your travel stories. I'm like, we need to get a John Gunther like travel channel show. Like, I think that would be your like shearing and traveling or traveling and shearing, something like that, and like just have you go around and not even do like things. You'd be like, hey, I want to go over here. Let's film it, and I guarantee you, it would be awesome to watch you like just. You'd be like, we have 300 sheep today, and then we're gonna go kayaking. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and then
Like that would
kicking
be a
ass
dope
tonight.
show.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean this English guy shot a pilot and it must not have done well. So they didn't make it through the process or whatever. So.
That's pretty neat, man. No, when you're talking about all the extra footage and tough, I feel like everyone would watch all the John Gunther footage and all the Julian Lane footage. I like to see all of it. Two of the most interesting guys on Tough for totally different reasons. By the way, we're two Ohio guys. You and Julian.
I should go see what they want for that footage and just buy it off of them and just use it together. That'd be fun.
That
The
would
thing
be
is that
epic.
you probably could. They'd probably, even though they'll never use it, they probably wouldn't sell it to you for a reasonable price.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
That would be cool though. I guess it wouldn't hurt to ask, right?
Yeah, I guess, man. All they can say is no, right? There you go.
Yeah. Dana looks at you like, get the fuck out of here. Why? Why would I do that?
Yeah, it's
Can I
kind of
ask
like a
you-
bad PR thing because you could like piece it together and make people look terrible. And
Yeah. I was actually about to say, and you don't have to answer this in like a hard or like I'm not looking for like a salacious thing, but you've met Dana obviously, and what what was he like to you as like a person and as a fighter? Like, did you ever like have a long form conversations with him, anything like that after fights or anything?
I mean, not really. I mean, I
Okay.
liked him. I liked him just because he gave me a second chance, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, but I I just feel like he's like a different. He's not really like we don't have a lot in common. I didn't really like. He's like a different person than me. So,
He's
but no,
a total alpha too. Like you like listen to him talk, and you're just like, Jesus, what did you say? especially early Dana. 2000s Dana is probably the greatest Dana White we've ever gotten, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I like him, but it's just not. I mean, he's just. I guess I don't know. It's just we weren't friends or anything.
Yeah, I wasn't implying that more. I was just like business dealings and all that kind of stuff. I didn't know if you'd ever dealt with him because you hear those stories. Who was the guy that sat in his office for a couple and wouldn't leave until he got a contract? I can't remember that gentleman's name, but and he wound up winning his next fight. I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, the like guys would sit in his office in Vegas and like force him to give him deals, like kind of thing where it's like, I want to fight again. Let's do this. And you hear those. I just wanted to get your like personal interactions.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he seemed to like that because I went up to him after a fight and I was like, I mean, I'm just gonna ask him, and I asked him, and I know Jay, like he went up and asked for that fight, and we both ended up fighting again. So I think, I mean, if you're just real honest, and I think he likes that when people go up and like let him know that they what they want.
Right. It seems like he definitely likes
it
guys.
Worked out for me, yeah.
Yeah, guys who show they want to fight. You know, he likes that a lot, right?
Yeah.
He wants something to go get it. He's kind of his thing. I was going to ask this. Okay, depending on which side I look at, it says your record is different. What is your official record?
Officially, it's 7-1.
Okay, because like Bruce Buffer says 7-2, but the fights on the show don't count, right?
Yeah, it's weird. Like the UFC shows like 5-2 or something, but yeah, like on Tapology or like the official website, it shows 7-1. Because the fights on the show are exhibition.
Right.
But for some reason the UFC counts like one of them. That one against
there's 3 rounds. Yeah.
Yeah. So but I guess I just look at the official athletic commission one.
Yeah, I mean that's what I saw. I mean, you know, tough doesn't count. But I was
like Share Dog's terrible. It's like some weird like
this always wrong.
0 or something. Yeah, it's like terrible.
Yeah, I never look at Share Dog because it's always wrong. Tapology is pretty good. Mixedmartialarts.com is pretty good.
Yeah, Tapology is always on, and then Mixed Martial Arts. Yeah.
What was I gonna ask? I think I always saw you fight live once as an amateur. You armbar somebody pretty quick.
Yeah.
That was in Mansfield, I think. Yeah, your first handful of pro fights, you had some great fights with RFO, man. You have a win against Devontae Smith, who's good fighting this weekend in the UFC, and man, the only guy to beat Nick Brown, who's the LFA champion, man.
Yeah, Nick Brown. I just watched his last fight. He's doing good. He's won everything. He's won everything since then. He's LFA.
We need to get him on LFA to get 2 victories over Nick Brown. We need
anyway. Man,
I think you would do it.
LFA.
Yeah, well, fuck the LFA because they also fired Pat Miletich. So, did you see that, John?
No,
about Pat Miletich.
Oh, I knew he was announcing for them, and then he went to some rally or something, and they fired him.
Yeah, he was at the Capitol riots that happened. Yeah, but he never went in.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were like, it's just a political gathering. Half the people in the country, think that way. Like, that's crazy. But
he took some pictures with people, and they got him in trouble, which is weird because he didn't do anything wrong. It's kind of
Did he take pictures with like people that went into the Capitol?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think he would have known that.
He wouldn't have known,
right? Like you wouldn't know anyway, right? But I don't know. It's insane.
It is, but and we're trying to get Pat on. I actually have to text him. I've been lazy about doing that.
You have Pat Miletich's cell phone number. You're not getting a hold of him.
He runs like ultra marathons and stuff, right? The guy's a beast.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I think he still does that. Like he's still active in that. And he actually during the pandemic had a kickboxing fight, which I think he actually won. To be honest with you,
Oh yeah,
uh,
that's cool.
yeah, but the leg kicks probably killed him. To be honest, like that's the
Uh,
only thing I could see because he dropped the guy a couple times, and still
wow.
lost. I'm like, what? Come on, judges. What do you think about? Okay, I'll ask you this question: judging, hate it, or do you love the system and right as of right now, or do you think it needs to change?
Um, I, I don't mind it. I mean, as long as you have a system and everyone knows the rules. But I wish, I wish it would be. I wish it would just be. They would. I If I was allowed to make the system, here's how it would work. The first two rounds wouldn't be scored, and then only the last round would be scored, so that people would be free to just try to go for the sub, and they're not thinking about winning the decision, because that holds a lot of people back so much, because they're worried, they don't want to give up position and lose the decision by trying something crazy. Whereas if the first two rounds, nobody really cares. Like, it irritates me when someone's winning the first two rounds, right? They're beating the guy up, and then they finish the fight and they're getting destroyed, right? In a real fight, you're done, right? If you fade at the end, that's all that matters. So
Yeah,
my thought is, give the people the freedom to just go for the finish the first two rounds, and then just judge one round, judge that last round, and
that makes
then
sense.
I think the fighters would open up a lot more, and would just we'd be free to go for stuff, and we wouldn't be worried about losing, about winning that decision. And
Yeah,
then, okay, we slow it down maybe a little in the third round, and we worry about winning. But if we haven't finished them in the first two rounds, then maybe we just need to outpoint them.
yeah. Um, it's kind of like what ONE FC does. ONE FC, they
I
judge the
like their
fight,
rules too. Yeah,
yeah, in its entirety,
I
right?
like
So
the
it's a
fact
3
that
round fight.
they allow like kicks on the ground and stuff, and
Soccer kicks.
it changes the game. Like, if you're a
Mhm.
dominant wrestler and you can knee the guy in the head, all of a sudden, like, you have a huge advantage. Or you don't play around. Like, if you're going for an armbar and suddenly the guy can kick you in the head, it's a different game.
Oh yeah,
Right. I mean, you saw what happened to the guys who are wrestling based. I mean, that's kind of what your game is, pressure and wrestling. But like Ben Askren, when he went to ONE FC, when he could start kneeing guys in the head
Oh
when he was on
yeah.
the ground, he was nuts.
Yeah, like Mark Kerr used to just destroy people, and then they take that tool away from him. Uh, but if he could get the side control and just knee him in the head, like, it's dominant.
Mark Kerr is one of those guys in MMA history that I look at, and you just uh, the drugs the steroids, everything. He was pure NHB. No, he was no holds barred personified. And have you ever seen the smash it? You've seen the Smashing Machine, right? Or no?
Yeah, I think I watched. It's like a documentary or something
Yeah.
about like steroids and stuff. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I think I've
it
watched
was
it.
about Mark's career in the 2000s when he went over to like Pride for their Grand Prix, and like Mark
Uh,
Coleman was there. The guy that wrestled Dan Severn or fought Dan Severn in the UFC. What? Not Olenek. It starts with an O, and he's a Russian guy. He's won a UFC too. But that documentary is just like earth shattering for like the
uh,
early days of mixed martial arts, just because of what was going on behind the scenes was just insane, and especially in Pride, like where they just said, "Yeah, we're not going to test. We're not going to test you at all. Go ahead, do whatever you
yeah,
want."
yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's so
beautiful.
cool. I wish I would have like known about it. Like, I got into it late and I didn't know what was going. Like, I'm so late to the game, but yeah, I wish I would have found out about it sooner. It's so cool at the beginning.
Yeah, you
Oh,
kind of started late, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, it's kind of depressing.
Well, like, how did you get into martial arts to begin with?
I was taking like a couple. Uh, I just went to like a local community college, and I thought I would like try to do a little school because I actually dropped out of school when I was in eighth grade. I was like, this is stupid, and then I thought, well, maybe I should go back. So I like I got like a fake diploma and went
Ah,
and did some college courses, and then there was a gym there that the guy was doing martial arts, and I got it. I found out about it that way.
that's pretty sweet.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, how did you get into decide you wanted to do mixed martial arts and actually take fights?
I just started going to that little gym at the school, and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. I didn't even know this existed. And then they're like, hey, you want to fight in like a couple months? So then I fought, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a cool sport.
Yeah, that hooked you. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
When did you start going to strong style?
Our gym kind of fell apart. Cody Stevens, me and him were like named training partners at this little tiny gym we were at, and then our gym, it moved, and we were all excited because we were gonna get like a cage and everything because we never had a cage, and then like the new building, the guy that owned it was like all like upset about MMA. He's like, I can't have martial arts in my building. And so they're like, yeah, so I guess we're not allowed to fight in the building. And so our coach just started doing CrossFit. And me and Cody were just like, he had a couple fights where he was just like training at a boxing gym, and it was crazy. And he's fighting these guys that like right now they're in the UFC, like Calvin Cater and these guys, and we're just like, we have like no training, and he's doing well against them. But then he moved up to strong style, and it was either that or Ronan in Columbus. And
Yeah.
I went up to strong style, and the Marcus was we went up there, and they were sparring, and on Mondays they spar, and Marcus, they want it to be like a fight. It's not like let's go light and jet. It's like this is a real fight, and in a real fight, you're not quitting. Um, so it's like a different mentality, and I think like the mentality that you approach a fight with is really important. Um, at Strong Style, they do a lot of stuff like that, like running in the winter. Like people could say, "Oh, that's just stupid. Someone could slip and twist a knee or something," but it just makes you mentally tough, you know. Uh, and when you've done something difficult and you're in a difficult situation like a fight, when you're gasping and tired and everything hurts, just being able to draw back on the past experience is it kind of like allows you to like, oh, I survived this, so now this is easy, you know. So the first day I was up there, I remember they were fighting, and the one guy got kicked in the leg, and he like falls over, and his legs hurt, and Marcus is just like, get up, kick him again, aim for that leg. And it's just brutal. It's like dog eat dog. Like they're not worried about like, because on Monday it's a real fight, and
Yeah.
and just that mentality, I kind of like that. Just that brutal, like just knowing that it's like life or death in there right now. Like in a real fight, if you get injured, you're just gonna have to get up, and sometimes that mindset is more powerful than the skills or anything else. So I was like, this is where I need to train.
That's pretty cool, man. I mean, there's a bunch of monsters up there. I mean, obviously the baddest man on the planet is up there. So guys like Jeff Hughes are up there. This is what I wanted to ask you. I mean, obviously, just watching you on Tough and just watching you fight and talking to you now, obviously, like you have a giant heart as far as it goes, fighting wise. Anyone that watches you fight, like dude, John is giant heart and he's tough as hell. So what is it that made you fall in love with the sport? Why do you love it so much and work so hard for it?
It's just it's there's so there's so much freedom in it. It's not there's so many different ways to win, or if you suck at striking, you can take it to the ground. And every day I watch fights and somebody's come up with something new. They've created a new technique, or you could change a little something in strategy. There's so much room for creativity. It's just it's not really, there's so few rules that there's a lot of room for evolution, and it could change tomorrow. It's so exciting. It's really interesting. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at a guy last year, we saw probably one of the most creative kicks in UFC history with Joaquin Buckley. Like
Right.
that guy changed the level for any kind of like defensive striking that a guy could do, because nobody thought that was an option. And even if you look at Anderson Silva back in the day with the front kick to Vitor Belfort, nobody thought that would be a thing that could work. And now guys pull it off all the time, or at least get close enough to make it a defensive move. I love that's one thing I
guys
do like
that
about
can't
MMA.
strike at all, and they just have a different strategy, like Khabib or Askren. They're just taking guys down, and it's effective. Like you could maybe you walk on your hands and you you throw triangles up with your legs, because your back's facing them, and what are they going to do? There's so many different options. It's so interesting. The lack of rules makes it really exciting.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And we're gonna end this, but in the next couple of minutes, but because we have a few more questions for you, and I want to say, dude, thank you for being on. Like,
so much,
you taking the time after training. I know you're probably sore as fuck. Your head's like a little bit spinny from that lovely headbutt, man. But the fact that you came on and talked to us, dude, like I'm happy about it, because it's just like you're a very cool dude to talk to, and hopefully we can have you on again for sure, because we'd love to have you on again.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's my excuse, the headbutt. That's why I'm so discombobulated. Thank you.
But I want to ask this question. We asked this of a lot of MMA fighters that we have on. Out of all the fights that you have had, who is without a doubt the biggest bitch you've ever fought?
I don't really think I've fought really.
Like, you've never had a guy where you're like, I can't wait to get in and just fuck your world up and just like that kind of guy. Have you ever had that kind of guy in your life?
Not really. No. I mean, most of the guys I fought are like it's amazing. Like, they've gone on to like be really to do good things. All the guys I've fought are. It's kind of a unique sport, and it's kind of it's cool. Like there's so much like I don't know, like they're just tough guys. Like it's interesting.
Yeah,
there's not a lot. There's not a lot of pansies in MMA. You gotta have a certain amount of grit to even do it.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's also, when we ask that question, it depends on your definition of bitch, right? And not just a pansy, but like someone who's just a douche, right? just like the whole time he's talking shit, and you're like, yeah, this guy, come on, this guy.
See, I get along with everyone. I don't really like. I have no. I don't hate anyone. Like, I don't know. It's just I enjoy I enjoy maybe what some people would label as bitches. I or
I
like
like him now. I
like
like that.
I don't mind arrogant people. It's funny to me, so I don't know.
Thank you. See that's something like with shit talking in any kind of sport. I love the shit talker because even if they lose, some guys are just really Conor McGregor excluded. We've seen some guys outside of Conor that have just talked. Kevin Lee comes to mind when he made Chiesa almost cry by talking about his mom. Like I love those kind of
Don't
guys.
touch, don't touch mamas, man. That's crossing the line, man.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really affects me. I don't care what someone says about me, so
Yeah.
it's uh, it's just interesting to me. I like the fact that this world is like full of so many different people, and that it's not all polite, happy, nice people.
Yeah.
It would be boring. I really enjoy the diversity. Like I like crazy people too. Like I met this guy the other day. I gave him a ride. And he was like an Indian. And he had like tattoo like tribal tattoos all over his face and stuff. And he was telling me all this stuff about like all these crazy conspiracies and stuff. But like it's interesting. It's like it's so fun.
Hell yeah, man. And I'm a big conspiracy guy myself. I like conspiracy
Yeah, yeah.
theories. So next time we have you on, we'll discuss conspiracy theories because I'm always down for some conspiracy theories, man. That's especially if you follow Alex Jones. I know he's been deplatformed a lot and all that kind of stuff, but like for a conspiracy theorist, he's entertaining as hell. Like I gravitate to a guy like him because you also realize that like you're not that crazy where you're like, oh yeah, I don't believe that there's a pizza shop in New York. You know, like that's I'm
Right.
good on that one. But we'll talk JFK. We'll talk JFK all day. I don't
But
really
it's kind of fun just to like just put your brain through through the gymnastics, you know. It's like
yeah.
an exercise, you know. It's like why not?
Hell
If an idea is bad, then better ideas will beat it. So why do we have to be afraid of ideas?
Yeah, right.
I don't understand it.
You should, as a reasonable person, you should be able to wean through the bullshit, right? When someone's
Yeah,
talking nonsense, you should be able to figure out what's real, what's complete nonsense. So it is kind of fun
right.
sometimes.
Yeah, and
but
the only way you sharpen that tool is by doing it. And so
yeah,
if we just silence people we disagree with, then it's silliness. You're never going to develop those skills to judge what is true or what is wrong.
absolutely, dude.
Great, man. I would want to ask you this, man. So what's your goal now, man? I mean, you want to try to find a fight soon. I mean, you talked about your dream idea of like trying to find your own fights and stuff. Which is number one, man. Listen, I'm with you, man. You want some help with it? Let me know, man. I'll try to help you out. I
Okay.
know some people.
Yeah, I
We'll
mean,
get some stuff together because I think that could work. I honestly think it
I
could.
have a bunch of ideas, and I'm just like, I'm just wandering everywhere, and like day to day, it's different. I'm just a mess.
That man. I mean, I have contacts in different areas, man. You get a hold of me, and if I can't help you, I'll tell you. But if I can, I'll let you know. Let me
okay.
know, man. Because
Well,
I mean that'd be fun. Because I love that idea of you going to a gym and just having a live stream fight and having the fans judge. That'd be great.
yeah,
I mean, that
I
sounds
need.
so fun.
I'd love to work something like this out,
I honestly think it could
or
be
maybe
done.
a bare
It could be
knuckle
done.
thing, or I don't
Yeah,
know.
that too.
I vary day to day, but I want to do something.
So
I
I mean,
gotta.
what's your main goal right now in fighting?
Right now I'm just trying to keep it simple. I'm just trying to get my weight down, try to get back in shape, and close my hand completely. And
Oh yeah,
then
Yeah,
so I'm just focusing on that. And then they say to like make small goals, right? So
right.
I'm trying to do that. And
I mean,
just
do you get your own fights? Or you have a manager? Or you have someone looking for a fight for you?
I mean, right now I'm just by myself, so I like the free. I feel like it's silly to have a manager because you have like then you have another person you have to ask and talk to, you know. it'd
Plus
be
10%
nice
of
just
your
to.
shit's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I mean, I don't mind that, but
We have a
it's
buddy
just
who's pretty cool.
it's just another layer of involvement, and another person
Yeah,
that
that's true.
gets to. I just want to be able to say yes, and a lot of times, like, it's not about like how much money you get for. Sometimes I'd rather take the fight than
Right.
I'd
Yeah.
fight for free some fights, like
Right.
a lot of fights. So I don't know.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't want someone's wanting to make a certain amount to limit who I can fight.
right. I mean,
exactly.
we had a guy on, Gene Walker, who's a manager. I think he's going to work with our buddy Andrew Law here soon. I mean, he's one of those guys that he would just do whatever you wanted. But I mean, the thing is about doing it yourself is you hope someone's looking for you rather than you looking for a fight, right? So if they're not, say, oh, what's John Gunther doing? And he'd be like, if John Gunther wants a fight, you got to go find a fight, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't know. Like, there's so many. Like the PFL is interesting too because they have that cool
Mhm.
tournament and stuff, but they're kind of
Yeah.
like I don't think they're open right now. Or
Yeah, they're not really doing
No,
anything.
they're not. No, I think LFA did some shows like late in the year last year, and then it's been pretty much all UFC, and I think Bellator's had a few cards.
LFA's been open almost the whole time.
yeah,
I think
Oh,
I
yeah, 'cause
don't
they
know.
were like, what,
I
Montana?
feel like maybe I go to a PFL and maybe I stand outside with a picket sign and say like I'm locked out of PFL. And I get a board with nails on it, and I get guys to break bricks on my chest, and maybe I get some attention and they give me a fight. I don't know. I just kind of
Again, man, yeah, man. If you want someone who's bored to ask for you, get a hold of me, man. I'll ask on your behalf.
Okay.
You don't have to give me a cent.
Well, thank you.
I'm not saying I'll be good at it, but I'll try hard.
Uh, well, John, we appreciate you being on, my friend. This has been awesome. It was a pleasure meeting you. And again, you're a very, very fascinating human being. And hopefully we can have you on again just because, again, we like talking to you. This was, in my opinion, this is our best show we've ever had just because of the subject matter and everything like that, bro. So, again, we appreciate you being on. Enjoy Miami, and give all your social media plugs and all that on the way out, so people know where to follow you.
Oh, just my Instagram is follow me. I'm blind, and just don't follow me because blind people make very bad leaders. And, apparently, I'm deaf too because or judging from our audio problems on this episode.
We
I
got it
tried to
figured
do
out.
sign
luckily, though.
language and stuff, but I don't think anyone understood. My brother. We used to think he was deaf, so like we went and took sign language lessons, and we learned something called cued speech, but I forget it all, so it failed
It
me.
happens if you don't use it. Like you said, if you don't sharpen the tool, it gets kind of dull, and you can't use it anymore.
Right? Absolutely.
You used to think,
John, again, brother.
I just want to ask. You used to think he was deaf. That was he just ignoring you? Like what happened?
Yeah, he just ignored us. Like it was totally normal, but no, it ended up he was autistic, I guess, and he couldn't like.
Right. Yeah.
He's nonverbal. He's still nonverbal. He doesn't talk or he doesn't. And he has seizures. Back then, he didn't have seizures. He was like healthy and he could swim and he could roller skate and stuff, but he just didn't talk or understand anything. But now he's started having all kinds of seizures and stuff. So I don't know if some of it maybe he was having like something beneath the surface. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean,
Some
everything
sort of brain
everything
issues.
can get worse. I mean, I talk about I have Tourette's
Yeah.
syndrome. Mine's gotten worse over the years. Yeah, so, is what it is. Well, good. We ended on a happy note.
Yeah. Well, he's happy. He enjoys his life. Like
That's good, man. That's all that matters,
excited
man.
and jumps
Long
up
as
and
he's
down
happy,
and
that's
laughs. Yep, yeah.
For sure, brother. Thank you for being on.
Thank you so much, brother. We really appreciate it.
You're awesome.
I appreciate you putting up with me.
Oh,
Nah.
dude, more than you know, we appreciate it. This is a lot of fun, man. It really was, man. You're the man, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck, man, for sure.
Well, I need all the luck I can get. Thank you.
Don't we all, man? Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching the Bro Plata. We appreciate everybody doing it. Give John Gunther a follow as well. He is a savage human being and deserves to be treated as such. And you can follow us on at Bro Plata across social media and along with our streaming platforms that you can just type in Bro Plata. Episodes will be coming up this weekend. I've been dragging my legs, but also been working, so I can't really do anything. But this episode will be up.
You were dragging your legs before you were working. Come on, man.
This is very true. But it does happen. But thank you guys for watching. Like, share, and subscribe this episode along with all of our episodes, and we appreciate it. And thank you for watching the Bro Plata. And like every week, we will see you at the Kumite, motherfuckers.
I wonder if John